Hello and welcome to Paris, the French capital known as the City of Love. And it's a city where the streets overflow with history, culture and beautiful architecture. And for a 15th year, we're here at the Stade Pierre de Coubertin for the YONEX French Open, the last of only 4 Super 750 events on this year's HSBC BWF World Tour. Well, the first thing that happens is that the magnificent World Tour Final trophy is brought into the arena. The World Tour Final is scheduled to take place in Guangzhou in December. And it's just the top 8 players and pairs in each of the 5 disciplines who qualify. And that is determined by the results from all World Tour tournaments on the HSBC BWF World Tour. Well, it's finals day today, and we start with an all-Danish men's singles affair. Viktor Axelsen, the reigning world and Olympic champion, in his second final here 10 years after his first as an 18-year-old. He's up against Rasmus Gemke. Then we have women's doubles and Pearly Tan and Tina Muralitharan, the Commonwealth Games gold medalists, trying to make history by becoming the first female players to win a title at the French Open in the Super Series and World Tour era. But they're up against Matsumoto and Nagahara, the 2-time former world champions and winners here 4 years ago. Then it's mixed doubles and Zheng Shiwei and Wang Yaxiong, reigning and 3-time world champions, trying to win a 9th title of the year. But they're up against the only European ever to beat them, the European Championship bronze medalists Tarbalin and Peak. And then it's 2 former champions in the women's singles, Carolina Marin, the former world and Olympic champion, against Herbing Zhao, winner here 6 years ago. Then we finish with men's doubles and Ranki Reddy and Shetty in their second final here. But since then, they've won the Commonwealth Games gold medal and the World Championship bronze as well. They're up against the hugely entertaining Liu Qingyao and Yang Ho Han in their first ever final at this level. Well, with our first final of the day being men's singles, a chance for us to look at the draw. I can tell you, we only started with 6 seeds, and then we had 3 seeds lose in the very first round. So we were down to 3 seeds by round 2, with none in the bottom half of the draw. Those 3 seeds, as you can see, came through to the quarterfinal stage, where we had 7 different nationalities. 2 Danes. For a second consecutive week, Naraoka, the young Japanese player, was in a semi-final after his semi-final in Denmark. But as you can see, both the Danes came through to set up an all-Danish men's singles final. Now, I was telling you about the race to the World Tour finals and the standings at the moment. This is how they are after the Denmark Open. But I can tell you, after this week in Paris, Viktor Axelsen will go to number 1. But the number 1 and 2, Pranoy as well as Axelsen, have already qualified for the World Tour finals. Kodai Naraoka, currently at number 8, will go up 3 places to number 5. But the remaining places for the World Tour finals are all up for grabs. Well, I'm Jill Clark, delighted to say that Steen Pedersen is sitting alongside me, the former head coach of the Danish national team. And Steen, looking at the lineup today, it's possible we could have all 5 titles go to players and pairs from 5 different countries. It's never happened before at the French Open. That would be marvellous if it did.
It certainly would. It's been a very diverse tournament here. Lots of nations represented in the semi-finals and the finals. It's been very interesting. I'm looking forward to see the finals today.
Very much so. And talking of diversity, last week in the Denmark Open in the men's singles, the quarterfinal lineup, 8 players from 8 different countries. This week, here in Paris, the men's doubles, for only the 2nd time in the whole history of the Super Series and the World Tour, we've had 8 pairs from 8 different nations in the men's doubles quarterfinal. Badminton is becoming more and more diverse. But we do have an all-Danish men's singles final. And we're just about ready to invite the players onto court for the first final of the day. The world and Olympic champion, Viktor Axelsen, beaten finalist here 10 years ago when he was just an 18-year-old, making his 9th appearance here at this particular tournament. And what a year he has had. Going for his 7th title of the year. His opponents, unseeded, Rasmus Gemke, in only his 3rd World Tour tournament final, but his 2nd at 750 level. Well, this will be a 4th meeting between these two players, and the previous 3 have all been won by this man, the reigning world and Olympic champion, Viktor Axelsen. He's won them all in 2 straight games. The last time they met was last week in the 2nd round of the Denmark Open. And that's a 21-15, 21-19 victory in 49 minutes.
Black called. Red.
So Viktor Axelsen wins the toss of the coin and has chosen ends, as he inevitably does, because there's always a bit of a difference in ends, even when there's not much drift. Any big arena, the natural air current of warm air rises will create a little bit of drift. And Viktor Axelsen has chosen to start at the faster end. He's hitting with the drift from this near side of the court. Well, 10 years on from his first ever Super Series tournament final, the French Open here, where he lost to Darren Liu of Malaysia. 194, that is 6'4", and this is his 99th week in total as world #1. As I was saying, 6 titles this year from 10 tournaments. And looking at his matches so far, well, he beat Nishimoto, who had been a runner-up here 5 years ago. Then he beat Tanasin, who had beaten the winner last week in Denmark in the 1st round. Quarter-final was against the number 7 seed, last year's world champion, and avenge for last week's defeat in his home event, the Denmark Open. Then Kodai Naraoka of Japan, and very comfortable semi-final it was too. So to Rasmus Gemke, 25 years of age, from Verbu J, and J stands for Jutland because there's 2 Verbus in Denmark. Went down 4 places on the world ranking run on Tuesday to 16, but did spend 3 weeks at number 10 in the world. It's his 5th consecutive appearance at this tournament, and in the very first round he was supposed to play against the number 2 seed Antonsen, but he pulled out. He therefore played Nat Nguyen, then beat the former world #1 and former champion here, Kidambi Shrikant, in 3 games. 3 games also in the quarter-final against the World Championships silver medalist this year, Witazan from Thailand. Semi-final against Lee Chok-Yu. So the first thing we notice with Rasmus Gemke's path through to today's final is that he hasn't played against a seeded player on his route through to today's match. Trish Gubb of New Zealand is our umpire for this one.
Ready to play?
Ken Hekebo of Norway is the service judge. Well, Viktor Axelsen has won his last 10 finals that he has contested. The last time he lost in a final was in 2021 All England final, when he lost out to Lee Zijia of Malaysia. 10 consecutive wins in finals. This is his 7th final of the year in his 11th tournament of the year. And he comes into this final with a win-loss record for 2022 of 46-2. Now, just to explain that he has played more tournaments than his losses there. In 2 of his tournaments this year, he won the first round, then pulled out with injury problems. So he's only ever lost 2 matches in 2022. Now, he's just pointing out to the umpire that there was somebody with a flash on their phone or camera there. Somebody's still using flash. Yes, it is desperately distracting to the players.
Yeah, maybe you could just ask Gemke's family
Ladies
to turn off their phones.
On my right, Viktor Axelsen, Denmark. And on my left, Rasmus Gemke, Denmark. Rasmus Gemke to serve, love all, play.
So the men's singles final gets underway. Gemke, far side of the court against the reigning world and Olympic champion, Viktor Axelsen. Now, Steve, the first thing I notice is that there's no coaching involved, and I think that's wonderful because even though Viktor Axelsen is now an independent player, he still plays for Denmark, and I think that's very sporting and right, too, that there's no coaching staff involved.
Yeah, that's a deal that was made when Axelsen decided to move his address to Dubai and create his training setup there. Can't use the Danish team coaches in individual tournaments. He can in championships, which is, in my opinion, also an odd arrangement. But luckily, they came to the right conclusion here.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Well, of course, we are guaranteed a third men's singles winner from Denmark here at the French Open in the Super Series World Tour era. The previous winners, 14 years ago, Peter Gade, then 9 years ago, Janor Jorgensen. Just long.
Service over, 2-all.
I don't know if you can see it in these pictures, but here it's visible that we have sort of like a wall of light behind Rasmus Gemke, and the beams are visible behind the court. That looks a little bit strange to me, and
Oh dear.
Service
hopefully
over.
it's just me that's a little bit disturbed by it. The players probably don't even notice it.
Another one goes long. That's the issue with the drift that I was telling you about.
Service over, 3-all.
Oh, what a lovely block. Lovely. And one of the issues here, I'm guessing, Steve, for Rasmus Gemke, is that he's never even won a game against his opponent, and he's got to be sort of saying to himself, well, what can I do differently in today's match to reverse the result?
Yeah. He has to sort of find something different that Axelsen hasn't seen that much of before, which can be difficult. On the other hand, Gemke, it's two opposites that meet, so they've had opposite years because Gemke has been bugged by injury for a very long time. Sometimes he's played through injury, and he's been struggling with his hips and with his feet. And he didn't play for 5 months following the World Championships in 2021, so couldn't really find form. Now it seems like he's in much better shape.
Yeah. But, you know, not only the confidence perhaps lacking because of the injury problems, but this is his first final for 2 years. His last final was the Denmark Open of 2020 when he lost to Anders Antonsen. Now, that was a tournament where very few Asian players made the trip to Europe. So, I mean, you know, we talked yesterday about getting used to winning, getting in the winning habit. He won't have that. Oh, goodness me, that's loose.
I think his racket was gone.
7-3.
Yeah, trying to get it calm down vertically, but with very cool strings, virtually no hope. Missed it. So, Steen, the last all-Danish men's singles final on the World Tour. Do you remember that?
On the World Tour, that's been, there was the World Tour finals.
Yep,
with
that's right.
Axelsen and Antonsen.
That's correct. Played 2020 World Tour finals, played in January 2021. And it had also happened the week prior to that, or 2 weeks prior to that.
And that was Vittinghus.
Vittinghus against Axelsen. It was the previous week.
Vittinghus wasn't even qualified if all players in the world had been there for those tournaments. Deception.
Lands in. That's good control from Axelsen. Well, showing his class at the moment, the Olympic champion. That's beautiful. Just inside the back line. 7 straight points. To the mid-game interval on a run of 8 straight points with an 8-point advantage. Viktor Axelsen really in command in this opening game at the moment. Well, he may be the underdog in this match, Rasmus Gemke, but if he was to win, it would mean that in the 4 Super 7 of 50 events we've had this year, we'd have 4 different men's singles winners.
It's been a very diverse men's singles. We also saw it in the World Tour ranking that we presented prior to this match, that only 2 players are absolutely certain of qualifying out of the 8. We'll see later on that there's other disciplines where it's already set who's going to play.
11-3, play.
So play resumes. 11-3 advantage to Axelsen. Beautiful. And, you know, watching that rally, Steen, I'm again questioning in my own mind, does Gemke, I mean, he relies very heavily on his retrieving in matches, his thought process, but he doesn't have any big winners, does he?
I think he has a big smash. I think he has a big smash, but I think he's used it early in the rallies here.
13-3.
And Axelsen's defense is just too solid.
Yeah. Which again poses the question, what can he possibly do to beat Axelsen today? virtually no players in the world that have solved that question.
Viktor Axelsen. Been practicing with Gemke in the national team for many years, and also this year it's not like Viktor is not at home in Danish practice at all. He's been there for, I think, 3 weeks leading up to Denmark Open.
Just long.
And the birth of his and wife Natalia's second child.
4-13.
Yeah, second baby daughter. Arrived on the 7th of this month.
A sense of
14-4.
being satisfied with reaching the final could easily creep in on this man here, Rasmus Gemke. Well, we saw Talentina, whom we're going to see in the final next match. We saw them turning the tide on Shida and Matsuyama earlier in the tournament, down 6-0 in head-to-heads.
Yeah.
Winning their first match. So, but it requires something special. Right.
Challenge here. It's called good.
Challenges called.
You've got a better view than I have.
I think Axelsen will win that challenge. Let's see. Nope. Caught the line. That's a good call by the line judge.
Challenge unsuccessful. 1 challenge remaining.
Fantastic call by the line judge.
Yeah.
6-14. Play.
Good shot.
Yeah. And that it wasn't just a powerful smash, it was slightly across the body towards the right hip. That was beautiful placement.
That's, of course, got to go into the little black book of Gemke. Remember that there was an option there.
Thank you.
Keep variations on it. It's not like it's going to work all the time, but
No, they were having a little chin win.
yeah,
there.
I think he asked me, do you have 14, which is 14 in Danish? So it went so fast that he couldn't really keep track, Gemke. It's gone on.
Service over. 15-7.
Oh,
It's good.
yeah. Defense. My word. Good rally.
Service over.
One net in that rally. Rasmus Gemke.
15.
Oh, goodness me.
Service over.
Well, he's so tall that even
16-8.
slightly off balance with the Return of the flick serve, still able to play the winner. That's a terrific shot from Axelsen. Yeah, good shot from Gemke.
Service over. 9-16.
And that's the tricky thing for Gemke, that he probably needs to play so close to the margins here at the net, at the lines. The difficult thing is to get close from the right direction, from inside the lines, over the net, instead of making errors first and saying, okay, that was too much.
Yeah.
Because then points run away really, really quickly.
9.
You can see the difference in quality in the defense there.
Yeah, good smash.
Service over. 10-17.
We tried the little tricky disguise shot, Gemke,
Over.
and it went hideously wrong for him.
Yeah.
Far too loose.
18-10.
Missed it.
Service over. 11-19.
Oh, he gets that.
That was really, really good rally by both players. Problem for Gemke is that Axelsen won it.
20.
And therefore it's game point opportunities. Oh, I like that shot.
Service over.
And that was a much shorter disguise he's got on that shot. Look at that.
12.
Just a slight little wiggle with the racket head. The other ones are way too big. That's sort of like circus disguises. Good shot.
Yeah, very, very quick to the nets.
Quickly. 13-20. Thank you.
Oh,
Good shot.
good drive. Well, this opening game may be beyond Gemke,
20.
but since he was down 3-13, He's actually had the better of the play, hasn't he? So he's giving himself a chance come game number 2. Opening game.
First game won by Viktor Axelsen, 21-14.
Viktor Axelsen closes out game number 1, 21-14 in 19 minutes.
Seconds. 20 seconds. Second game. Love all. Play.
So 1 game to the goods. The world and Olympic champion Viktor Axelsen, 21-14, that opening game against Rasmus Gemke. Yeah, good work.
It's a lot of applause from the audience. They want to see the #1 challenge. They want to support the underdog.
String gone again.
Over.
Well, Steen, I've just been checking my records.
Yep.
And if Viktor Axelsen wins this final, he becomes the most successful men's singles player in the World Tour. Because at the moment, Momota has been in 21 finals and won 15 titles. Axelsen has also won 15 titles, but only 20 finals. This is his 21st.
Yeah.
So if he was to win, he will overtake Momota just on World Tour. That's not the case if you include the Super Series as well. He'll still be behind Momota.
I like the chance he took there.
3-1.
You could take courage from the fact that he's never lost to Axelsen in exactly those shoes. Because yesterday his shoe cracked and had to tape them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I'm not sure what happened in the second game where he had extra shoes with him, or he played on with the taping.
That's a great smash. Well, that reminds me of an incident at the Commonwealth Games with one of the Jamaican athletes. his shoes.
He played with the opposite coach's shoe.
Yes, Hendruan gave him his shoes
Yeah.
to play with. Now, there you go. You see, sportsmanship is alive and well in the sport of badminton.
Short.
Oh, that's quick follow-up. That's amazing.
Service over. 4-2.
Yeah, wasn't the best of serves. It played him into trouble, but look at the follow-up, Steen. That's so fast. A bit of showmanship there.
And he's seen that deception a lot of times, Viktor Axelsen. This one, he's just more or less waiting for it.
Touched him.
No, I don't think he touched. I think it was that he created some kind of drift that took it out.
Service over. 3-5.
Well, I wouldn't mind seeing that again. I thought it hit his shirt as it was landing.
Gentlemen.
Well, we really need to see that again.
Yeah. Anyway, Trish Gupp didn't see it, and she's the only important person in
Yes.
that matter.
Yeah, here we go, here we go.
Yeah.
Gentlemen. Replay.
No. No.
It was just a drift. Sometimes if you move really quickly, you can actually force the shuttle to go the last couple of centimeters out.
Well, when they played in Denmark in the second round last week, it was a close second game, wasn't it, Gemke?
It was.
19.
Shuttles considerably faster in Denmark. Not that they're not. They've been slow in the beginning of the week. But Gemke, much more natural attacking player. So I think he wants shuttles that are a little bit to the fast side. Axelsen mentioned it as well when playing Lo Kin Yo, that he was riddled by the speed. He couldn't really control it on either side. That's not been the case here in France. Some situations where Gemke hits the straight smash and he's going to run to the forehand corner no matter which attack he's playing, unless he plays the body attack where he might only have to go to the middle of the court. So trying to save energy didn't really work.
Oh, that's lovely control from Gemke.
Again, a deception that is too big. It was the misjudgment of Axelsen that saved Gemke there.
Yeah. Net play isn't tight enough at the moment.
No.
7-6.
Oi, oi, oi. That's wide.
did he slip or was he just sent in the wrong direction?
He was definitely sent in the wrong direction.
7-all.
Ooh, his ankle seemed to almost give way.
A lovely backhand return from Rasmus Gemke.
Yeah. Wasn't wide by much, but it was definitely wide.
8-7.
Yeah, I think I would direct a lot more of those shots into the middle of the court, simply just to take away the ankles from Axelsen.
Oops.
9-7.
Late on the follow-up there, Gemke not really committing 100% on his way back to the middle before finishing the shot and anticipating that Axelsen would get it back. Good shot.
Yes. That is excellent.
Service over.
Axelsen tries
8-9.
the length on the lift because obviously not long enough.
There's a challenge here from Axelsen.
Viktor Axelsen challenges called out.
Well, he was very, very quick to challenge, wasn't he? And he was right to challenge. Good challenge, Axelsen.
Correction in. Service over. 10-8. Play.
Good shot. Good shot.
It's gone long. To the mid-game interval with a 3-point advantage. Viktor Axelsen over Rasmus Gemke.
And I think that last rally was Gemke's best rally of the match. And again, Axelsen won it, but there was potential in that.
Unusual to see him sitting down, isn't it? Using the
20 seconds.
Bench.
20
Normally
seconds.
there's a coach standing that you can talk to, so when you're on your own, you might as well have a little rest.
Play.
So 11-8. Play resumes. Rasmus needs to keep it tight here, doesn't he?
Yeah, I don't think he can do it. I think this is a case of not complacency, but he won his final yesterday. It's just, at the moment, there's too much difference between those two players. And if we take the ranking, the world ranking, just for the calendar year 2022, Axelsen is number 1, and Gemke is number 31.
Crikey. Yeah, big difference. Of course, that's not how the world ranking is done, but,
no.
But that's very interesting.
But in 3 to 4 tournaments, that is the world ranking.
Yeah.
Because then it will be totally unfrozen, and we'll have 2022 as a 52-week period.
Yeah. Well, this is 5 straight points.
And it's a difficult situation, mostly for Gemke, because, I mean, when he went to bed last night, he started dreaming about what if I win this? That could be lovely. And now, sort of reality is about to dawn on him.
Yeah.
But he's still got to stay positive for all the other 4 matches that he's played in this tournament. That is such a huge step in the right direction for him compared to the last basically 2 years since he was in the final against Antonsen in 2020.
Yeah, prior to this, the best he had done was a 1/4 final.
Yeah. So the worst thing he can do is to sort of hit himself in the head with the result of the outcome of this final here. He's got to focus on the good rallies that he's played here and say that was great.
Service over.
There's some dollars rolling in on the bank account, important world ranking points and so on.
Yeah.
There's a lot of positives. But the way I see it, you can't beat Axelsen at the moment.
Oh, that's a loose serve.
Yeah. He hasn't really attacked the serves, Gemke.
Yep. Well played.
Service over. 10-15. Play.
No, I think Trish got, she could call Viktor out and say he needs to be ready earlier.
Service over.
Sorry.
It's a fantastic net shot. That was millimetre perfect. I don't think so. I appreciate the point you were making, and I agree with you, but I think they played this in good spirit. I don't think there's been a lot of time wasting.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful smash.
It's happened 4 or 5 times that Gemke has been ready to serve, where Axelsen has put up his hand.
Yeah.
So
11,
he needs to be ready faster.
Players
Yeah,
stay on court.
I'm convinced we need to change the emphasis in badminton to the playing to the pace of the server rather than the receiver. And if the receiver is still moving, then they'll be faulted for moving. And if they're, you know, if they're not there in time, not ready, well, tough luck.
Yeah.
That's what happens in tennis. You play to the pace of the server. Very good smash.
12-16.
And one of the things Axelsen should be aware of here now is that he cannot just sort of like wait at home, just say, okay, let's play some points and exchange, and then I'll get to 21. He's got to stay hungry, so to speak.
Yeah. Very, very good smash.
Service over.
Well, I couldn't echo your sentiments more, Steen. I think it is delightful to see Gemke back playing well, isn't it?
Yeah.
All his injury troubles.
I think it's really important. We saw Gemke sort of celebrating this and pumping himself up, and I don't think it's the activity level there's anything wrong with. I think he should be more like, what was it I did there? Oh, that was what I did. So that worked. Let me try that one more time and see if it works again.
Plan. 14-17.
And Axelsen is a little bit tense now. He's shaking his shoulders, warming up his legs, and probably become a little bit tensed at the moment.
Yeah.
But a point now would ease it up, I think. Good play.
Oh.
Missed it.
No touch. Balance. Viktor Axelsen challenges.
Well, he's
out.
challenging. Viktor thought it touched the head of Gemke on its way out. Well, it was on its way out, but
Challenge unsuccessful. One
now
challenge
he's going to get
remaining.
even more twitchy.
15-17.
Bouncing up and down on the spot, trying to just release some of the nerves.
Play.
We had a similar situation last week in Denmark Open when Wang Yachong and Zheng Shuwei, they played Feng and Huang Dongping. The world champions back then had nothing to gain. They were expected to win.
Yeah.
That's the same case here.
18-15.
Viktor is expected to
Exactly.
win. He can only lose.
Yeah, 3-point advantage and 3 points away from his 7th title of the year.
Excellent.
Yeah, that crouch defence for a big man, that is really good play. 2 points for the title.
It's gone on.
1 point required.
20. Match point 15.
And he's done it. Oh, he looks quite emotional. His 7th title of the year. Viktor Axelsen. Wins his first French Open in his 2nd title here, final here in Paris. Viktor Axelsen is now the most successful men's singles player in World Tour history. A 16th World Tour title. Well, some lucky fans will get a racket that will be treasured forever and a day.
Yeah.
But it was a solid performance today, wasn't it, Steen? He was the favourite, but he needed to deliver. He got a little bit shaky in the 2nd game, but he kept it together.
He did, and the more times you do that, the more you become used to it.
Confirmation of the scoreline. 21-14 21-15 in a match lasting 43 minutes. Well, to say that he's been dominant this year is an understatement, isn't it, Steen?
Yeah, this is almost Momota dominance when he was at his highest.
Momota did win 11 titles in 1 year. And this French Open, the last tournament of the year for Viktor Axelsen, apart from the World Tour finals.
Yeah.
Yeah, he felt the pressure, hence the emotion. So, we knew that there was going to be a Danish winner with an all-Danish final, but a third Dane to win the French Open since the inception of the Super Series and now World Tour. Viktor Axelsen adds his name on the roll of honour to Peter Gade and Jan Jorgensen. So the players enter the arena for the prize presentation.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the finalists.
It is a 31st career title for Axelsen. A 16th World Tour title.
Pour cette cérémonie, les prix seront remis par the prizes will be presented by Alisa Yonam, YONEX President, and Pauline Boyer, President of the Badminton World Federation. Le finaliste du simple homme, runner-up of the men's single tournament from Denmark, Rasmus Gemke.
Rasmus Gemke in his third World Tour tournament final. For a second time has to settle for second best. But how wonderful to see him back playing so well after all of his injury woes. He's had a great week here in Paris and he should celebrate that. Yeah.
Mesdames et messieurs, le vainqueur du simple homme des YONEX internationaux de France de badminton 2022. And now the winner of the men's single tournament, champion of the 2022 YONEX French Open, and crowned for the very first time here in Paris, Viktor Axelsen.
Viktor Axelsen, his 7th title of the year. His 16th World Tour title, and therefore becomes the men's singles player to have won the most World Tour titles since the inception of the HSBC BWF World Tour in 2018, overtaking Kento Momota. Well, he has had an incredible year. 7th time he's posed for the photographers as champion of the tournament this year.
Once again, give it up for Viktor Axelsen.
Thanks the presentation party and takes leave of centre stage. Well, coming up next, it's women's doubles and a chance for history to be made with Pearly Tan and Tina Muralitaran of Malaysia, trying to become the first female players to win a title here at the French Open. They're up against the two-time former world champions, Matsumoto and Nagahara. So welcome back to the Stade Pierre de Coubertin here in Paris. Well, Viktor Axelsen, 7th title of the year, but we've still got 4 more finals to come. Next up is women's doubles, and I'm really looking forward to this one.